There was this quiet moment, just me, my screen, and a sea of red numbers. I stared at my crypto portfolio and I felt nothing. No panic, no thrill, just silence. And in that silence, I realized I don't believe in it anymore. So I sold everything. And this isn't some takedown of Bitcoin, and it's definitely not financial advice. It's just me reflecting on why I left and what I hoped crypto would give me and what it couldn't. Now, if you're deep in the space, I respect that. But seriously, if you've ever paused just for a second and wondered, what am I chasing here? This video is for you. So for about 5 years, crypto was always in the background, and maybe more, to be honest. It was more in the foreground. I checked my portfolio dozens of times a day, and I even memorized price charts. I followed every trend, every new coin, every whisper of a possible bull run. And there was a time when I could name the top 100 coins and give you their approximate highs and lows from memory. It was kind of impressive in one sense, but also kind of sad now that I look back on it. See, the thing is, I did make a lot of money, at least on paper. I knew the patterns, I made trades that paid off. I even had a video titled, How My Life Changed After Becoming a Crypto Millionaire. Now that title, well, it was a bit of clickbait. I didn't technically lie. I did hit 7 figures in crypto holdings, but I never said it was in dollars. But I still kind of regret that now, feeding into the illusion of crypto fortunes. I regret feeding into that hype. When I first got into crypto, it was because a friend of mine actually did become a dollar millionaire from it. And I know several people who genuinely got rich from crypto. It is possible, and for a while, that was enough to keep me going. But over time, I've come to realize that how you make your money is more important than how much you make. I would rather earn pennies from making videos like this because that's my passion. And with crypto, it always felt like making money just for the sake of money. No deeper purpose, no craft, no joy in the process. And I'm not someone who cares so much about legacy in the traditional sense. I don't care if the world remembers my name, but I do care about how I feel about my life. If my tombstone said, became rich by investing in crypto, that would honestly feel kind of hollow. I'd rather that it would say something like, was passionate about creating and people enjoyed it. That would mean a lot more to me. Now, what I didn't see at the time was how much mental energy it was costing me. I was constantly distracted, looking for the next opportunity, and I wasn't really present in my own life. And when the market crashed in 2022, I took a big hit. I could have walked away with enough to quit my job, but I didn't. Why? Honestly, it was just greed. Crypto made me believe that there is always another 1000x coin out there, and it made me restless. Like, nothing was ever enough. And when I finally stepped away, it honestly felt like waking up from a really long, stressful dream. It's very easy to romanticize crypto as the future. And to be fair, the idea behind it was actually beautiful. A decentralized system that could free us from corrupt banks and inflation. But when I started to look more closely, I saw something else. But first, let me just say this about Bitcoin. I know this will upset some people, but I never bought into the whole Bitcoin maximalist mindset. To me, it started to look less like a movement and more like a religion, a belief system propped up by faith, not function. Bitcoin is slow, it's expensive to use, and ironically, it's not even functioning as the peer-to-peer currency, which was the whole point of its creation. Even Satoshi Nakamoto, its anonymous creator, abandoned the project. Now maybe that said something. You know, in the end, the way most people talk about crypto, it isn't really about freedom or decentralization. It's about being early. It's about buying before the crowd and selling after. It's a speculation with a futuristic mask on it. And look, I get it. We live in a world where financial freedom feels almost impossible. Crypto felt like a way out, but that dream, it wasn't as pure as I wanted it to be. Look, the truth is, the crypto market is one of the most manipulated systems I've ever seen. Whales or large holders, they can shift entire trends. Retail investors, just, regular people like you and me, we often end up being the ones who lose. Now, it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. And yet we tell ourselves stories that fiat is evil, that crypto is justice, that we're building a better world, but if we're honest, most of us, we're in it to cash out. So one of the core promises of crypto was real-world application, and I bought into that. I remember being excited about projects like Theta, that's a coin that was supposed to revolutionize streaming, or XRP, which was going to become the go-to solution for global banking. But the more I looked, the more I saw holes in the story. For example, why would Netflix or YouTube adopt a third-party crypto protocol when they could build their own? Why would banks around the world adopt XRP when they could design a centralized system which gives them full control? Even in my own field, which is supply chain management, I saw potential for blockchain. The transparency, the mobility, it all made sense. But then reality sets in. No major company wants to store sensitive logistics data on a public ledger. It's not efficient, it's not private, and it's not practical. And then there is the complexity. Crypto isn't very user-friendly. Like private wallets, seed phrases, gas fees, it's a lot, especially in a world where technology is trending towards simplicity. So while the vision was bold, the execution has been clunky at best. And as much as I wanted to believe, I just couldn't see how it would scale in a meaningful way. Here's something that I didn't expect to feel when I quit crypto: grief. And not because I missed trades or the community or the adrenaline, but because I realized how much time I had given to it. 5 years of learning charts, watching YouTube videos about crypto, analyzing coins, chasing rumors, and in the end, what did I really gain? Some money, sure, but no real skill, no growth. Just stress and a mind full of numbers that didn't really matter. Crypto doesn't teach you how to build something. It doesn't help you get better at your craft. It doesn't make you more resilient. It just makes you more dependent on an unpredictable system. Now, as I put my energy into something else, my business, my YouTube channel, my creative work, I feel like I'm building something real. I'm learning skills that I can take with me. I'm making mistakes that actually teach me things. And that to me feels far more meaningful. Crypto in the end, it felt more like gambling. Yes, obviously better odds if you know what you're doing, but still gambling, still speculation, still sitting and waiting for something outside of you to grow your wealth. And I just don't want to live life like that anymore. So leaving crypto, it didn't make me rich, but it did give me something that I didn't even know I needed, which is clarity. I stopped obsessing over charts. I started sleeping better. I had more energy to think about what kind of life I actually wanted to live. Crypto gave me a glimpse into how deeply money can control our thoughts, how easy it is to chase freedom in a way that actually traps you even more. So no, I don't regret getting into crypto. I learned a lot about myself from it, but I don't regret leaving it either. Now, if you've ever reached that point too, I want you to know that it is okay to walk away. Sometimes the smartest investment you can make isn't in coins. It's in your attention, your time, your future.